Hi, thanks for gardening with me. I'm Melissa, and today I'm going to be pre-sprouting ranunculus. So when pre-sprouting ranunculus, what you want to do is take your ranunculus out of storage, and when you do that, they're going to look like these dried up, dead looking octopus almost. If you can see that, I will try to zoom in so you can get a really good look on that. But they don't look like something that from it is going to come this gorgeous flower. I did have ranunculus last year. I don't know if you're from Ohio, but where we live, we had a very wet spring, and where I planted mine, they all got rotten and I lost them all. So not all, I have a few here that I was able to store through the winter and save. So I'll be hydrating those and bringing those back. But I did buy some more. In each packet of these, there's 30 in each packet. It says $9.99 on the packet, but I think I got them on sale last year. So what I did is went ahead and poured out my water. And I like to do this in advance quite a bit because it gives the chlorine a chance to dissipate before you go and start soaking your ranunculus. You want to soak your ranunculus for 4 to 5 hours, and that hydrates them, and I'll show you what it looks like after. They look totally different. But during that time, you want to make sure that you are changing your water probably 2 or 3 times throughout the 4 hours, because it keeps the oxygen in the water and it really helps the ranunculus hydrate in a very healthy way. So I'm going to go ahead and get these started. I have a little bit of water in the bowl already, and it's just super simple. You just pour them in there. And I'm just putting them in 2 separate bowls just so I can make sure that I have enough water over top of them to keep them hydrated, because you definitely want the entire thing to be underwater. And I will make sure that I stay here for the next 4 or 5 hours. 3 to 4 hours is probably good enough. And just change my water out, add a little bit more water to it. But before that, I will go ahead and add my water to the pitcher so that it can be sitting out in the, like I said, the chlorine can dissipate from them. I don't know that that's a game changer or not, but that's just the way that I like to do it. So go ahead and get those soaking. I'll come back in 3 to 4 hours and show you what that looks like. Okay, so we're out here in the greenhouse and I'm getting ready to pre-sprout these, but this is the same corum that I showed you earlier. You can tell it's got a lot more moisture to it. It's pliable, and this is exactly what you want in a corum before you plant it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this about 1/4 of the way up with potting soil, and then I'll put the ranunculus on top of the potting soil, and I'll put them like the tentacle legs going down, and you can see at the top, that's where the flower comes out. You want that point sticking up. This isn't where they're going to live forever, but this is to pre-sprout the corums. So I'll leave them in here. So I'll put 1/4 of the way full of soil, then put all these on top, and then cover them completely with soil. And then I'll put it in a cool place, like 40 to 50 degrees, which I may be able to find a corner in the greenhouse that's a little cooler spot, and I'll put that here for around 10 days or so, and I should have all kinds of roots coming out. And you're not really looking for a bunch of green growth on top, you just want to look for the roots to come out. And once they have rooted, then you take them and bump them up to bigger containers where they will grow on until they're ready to put outside in the spring. I'm going to try to put mine outside earlier than I've ever put them outside before, because I'm going to put them over underneath a row cover, and that way I can get them out sooner in the spring. Ranunculus do not do well in heat. So last year we had a lot of heat and a lot of rain. So this year I'm hoping that I'll be able to get it out early enough to where I'll beat the heat and be able to get some nice beautiful flowers in my raised beds. So I'm really, really excited. This is all the corms that I have, like 60 or 70 of them. So I'm pretty excited to see what this is going to look like. So I'll set the camera up and you can see how I get this planted up. Okay, so here you can see I have it about 1/4 of the way full. The bottom is completely covered, and I'm just going to go through and kind of nestle each one down in the pot. So they don't need a whole lot of space. It looks like it might be 2 of them together, but I'm just gonna leave it. I will allow it. So basically just like that, I'm gonna put the camera down and go ahead and get this finished and show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so here you see all the corms. For some reason, my camera's having a hard time adjusting. There we go, getting in a little bit closer. So I would never plant these this close in the ground when I go to plant them for real, but for this purposes, just to have them root out, this is perfect spacing for them. So now what I'm going to do is just cover them with soil, make sure they're completely covered. And I'll go get just a little bit more to top that off. And then after that, I'm not going to cover it with the plastic like I did with my onion seeds. This, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it just like this. I'll put it on the floor over by the door. So it's been exactly 1 month since I started my ranunculus. And as you can see, they're definitely ready to be potted up. I probably could have done it a week or so ago. They actually could go outside right now, but I haven't hardened them off yet, and we're supposed to have some really cold nights coming up. There's going to be nights that are in the 20s, and then next Saturday, I think there's supposed to be a night that goes down to 17, which when I do put these out, I'm going to put them underneath a row cover, so they would be protected, but they're going from, like, I've been keeping it in the potting shed, not in the greenhouse. I put them in the greenhouse at night. So in the potting shed, it stays around 55 degrees during the day. And then sometimes I've been putting them out on the porch during the day too. But going from that to 19 degrees would be too much of a shock on their system. And I don't want to lose any of these. I have got a ton of plants in here. And I went to Strader's the other day, and just for one plant, they were charging $5.99. So definitely don't want to lose any of these. So I'm going to show you how I pot them up. Then over the next week, I'm going to get them accustomed to being outside more, and then I'll go ahead and pot them up or plant them outside underneath the row cover, and I'll come back later and show you how I do that and protect them. Ranunculus are one of those plants that like it to be cooler outside. It's a cold season crop. So when it gets to be typically in July or something, when it's super hot outside, they wane and they die off, and then that's about the time you let them dry up, and then you dig them out and store them for the next season. Last year, it got so hot so fast, and it rained so much that where I put them, it just rained so much they got so wet, and the water wasn't draining from that area, so I lost 90% of my corms. So I had to purchase them again last year, which is so sad. But I was able to get some more. I think I have shown earlier in this video that it was $9 something a package. So I think I have 2 packages here. So $20 investment here, which would be at least $100 worth of plants, hopefully. So I'm just going to show you how I pot them up, and then the next step will be to put them outside. So my soil that I'm putting in my pots is damp, enough to clump, but there's no excess moisture coming off of them. I'm just going to put a little bit of soil in each one because when I take the corms out, I'll take the soil with me. All right, that's a good place to start. See how many I get out of that. And then take these and just lift the corner to start with. And so there is a plant, actually a couple of them. So each one of those is what I'm going to pot up. If they're stuck together too much, rather than damaging them, if they come apart pretty easy, I'll take them apart. But other than, I don't want to damage them, so I'll just leave them together. It would have been much better if I could have separated these probably a week, maybe even 2 weeks ago. The roots wouldn't have grown together quite so much. I had a vacation and other things going on, so I wasn't able to get to it. It has been a full month since I originally put these in here to be pre-sprouted. Okay, so I have them all potted up. And there's quite a bit more than I thought there was going to be. There's 61, and a lot of them have definitely more than one plants in each pot because I didn't want to, you know, disturb the roots too much if they were kind of combined already, which I should have done this a week or two ago. Anyway, there's 61 here. 61 times $6 a piece is $366. So you do the math. I mean, I saved a lot of money by growing these corms myself. I mean, it's a little extra work, but it really wasn't a lot. You just kind of water them every now and then. So I'm so excited. I'll put a picture on the screen of Ranunculus and what they look like. And they're just absolutely beautiful plants. So all of these are potted up in a pot that has drainage holes. So as I water them, the water will be able to drain out. The one thing with ranunculus is you don't want to overwater them. They don't want to be sitting in water because the corms will rot. So that's the one thing that you need to be careful of. The soil was wet when I did this, but I still am going to go through and water each one of these in, and then I'll just keep an eye on them and make sure that they don't dry out. But in the meantime, I have made an absolute mess. So there's my peat that I used. Hit my hand on the handle and spewed peat moss everywhere. And then over here, oh, I made an absolute mess. Now I did have this mat that I really like. I got it off of Amazon. And that's really nice for cleanup because I can just pick the whole thing up and put the extra soil back in my bucket. And I got it all over the floor. So I should change the name of my garden to the name of my YouTube channel to The Messy Gardener, because I do make a mess every single time. But pretty excited about these. Can't wait till I meet back with you and show you what the flowers actually look like. So in the meantime, thank you so much for gardening with me. God bless and have a great week.